Guys, it's Rich here at the Collector Car Gallery. We are looking at this 1974 Ford Bronco. Just like all of our videos in the past, we're going to start right here at the driver's side front fender. You guys will notice the hood is up. I also like, for everybody at home, I like to do a cold start. There is nothing more aggravating than walking up to one of these cars after it's sitting for 2 weeks and not knowing for sure if it's going to start. So, we're right here on the manifold. You guys can see it's the same temperature, radiator hose, same temp, So we're doing a cold start on this car. And I think it's going to start just fine, but just like you, fingers crossed, right? So I have no reason to suspect it won't. The car's been running, driving just fine. But like all of our videos, we are going to do a walk around of the car, and then also we're going to check out the a cold start function. Right while I got the hood open here, what we'll do is just kind of get a look at like the inner fenders here. Okay, everything seems to be very tastefully done. This probably could have been loomed. This probably should have been secured over here, a little bit better. We can definitely handle doing that. This is a power steering car, power brake car also. 302 engine. I do believe it's the original. In my opinion, it looks like this has been out of the car at the time of the restoration. As you can see up here, somebody has just kind of semi-gloss blacked all of the firewall and cowl and all that stuff. Probably on an original, this would have been the same color as the car, okay? But this is certainly not the original color for this car. I believe I have a Marty report, and it was candy apple red to begin with in the beginning. But as you can see, there's nothing about this thing that is, boring old tiny Bronco anymore. It's kind of just a fun cruiser, a little bit of a hot rod, kind of a vehicle now. Let's see, a few things. Looks like our air cleaner here. So this is obviously should be secured. That's not secured right now. I'm not gonna mess with that, but it looks like it secures right here, and it doesn't appear to be broken or anything. But I'm gonna start the car without it just because I only have one hand to work the camera here. So as you can see, everything else looks pretty tidy and tastefully done. We don't see a lot of overspray on stuff or anything like that. It just kind of looks nice. It's in good shape. So it is a steel hood. This is not a fiberglass Bronco, or does not have fiberglass components either. So that's a good thing. Bezels are blacked out, bumpers are blacked out. We'll get a look underneath the car too, but just to get things started, let's just go ahead and start the car real quick, and then we'll see if we can let it idle for a second also. A little cold-blooded. Giving it just a little gas here. It's got a really good sound to it too. I do remember this vehicle being just a little cold-blooded, so seems to be idling just fine right now though. I don't hear any kind of lifter noise, any kind of tick, exhaust leak. I don't hear anything like that. I'm not a master mechanic, but I don't hear anything like that. I do notice, I don't know if there's supposed to be a fan shroud there, but there is not one there. So if you got long hair, you better watch it if you're sticking your head in there while it's running. So yeah, car seems to be doing what it's supposed to do right now. Sounds pretty decent. So dual exhaust, chugging away. It's got a pretty nice lopey little idle to it too. So yeah, it sounds good. A great car. Okay, we'll shut this off, and then if you guys will give me a moment here to get, excuse me, sorry. Okay, so Thanks. Sorry about the camera work. I'm kind of flying solo around here. So first thing we're gonna do, we'll look at the front driver's side fender and we'll kind of just walk around the car, look at the inside, outside. My lift is occupied right now, but what I'll do is I'm gonna climb. I have enough ground clearance here that I'll be able to give everybody a really good look underneath this car. Fit of the hood looks pretty nice. Pretty uniform on both sides. Maybe a little gapped here compared to here, but definitely acceptable. Fit of the fender looks really nice and looks presentable. As we look down the car, I don't see any like really signs of bad body work or anything like that. Looks very tidy. The rockers look really good. Maybe it might be just a superficial scuff, but there's maybe a little scuff right there. We'll get a better look when we open up the doors and see. As we look down the car, dual fuel tank car. I do believe that is functioning. See, the door fit is, I mean, it's good. It could probably get sucked in just a little, but I think it's pretty presentable for an old Bronco. And door seems to fit nice and solid also. So I do have a soft top for this vehicle. It's right here. And then here is the framework for it. And then the roll bar, which just looks really great also. So coming around the back of the car, you can see the bumpers are blacked out. Looks like we got a little smoke coming from the exhaust there. I don't think that's a big deal. It's probably just a little burn off or a little cold in here. Probably doesn't do great to just do what I do, and that's shut it off all the time right after you have it started for a little while. Like in a building, I just kind of move it around for a moment, and then it'll load up and then probably just shut off. And so that's probably not the best thing for vehicles. Probably just the best thing is to get out and drive them. But let's see, muffler in there. The paint on the rear bumper is very nice. This has either been painted or powder coated or something. It looks thick, so it probably could even be powder coated in my opinion. So the fit of all the tail lights looks great. These are in great shape. The lenses look good on both sides. Fit of the rear tailgate is good. So I don't see any issues there. Looking down the passenger side of the vehicle, again, same as the other side. Everything just looks, I don't see anything glaring at me like bad body work. You know, this is a seam right here on these cars, and that seam on a poorly done car could actually, you would see that splitting a little bit also, and this one looks to be very nice and very presentable. Obviously, it's been cut to accommodate the wheels and give it this look that it has right here. So as we look down at the fit of the door, looks nice on the passenger side also. And the rockers look great on the passenger side as well. Window frame looks good. The piano hinge here looks like it's in good shape. I can tell you this for sure. This vehicle was taken completely apart to be painted, and you know, you can just see it in, you know, it wasn't taped off anywhere around the windshield. It wasn't taped off around the door handles. I mean, somebody had this thing into 1,000 pieces to have it painted. So, and that's the way you want it done, to be honest. All right. Fit of the front passenger side fender looks good also. So let's get the doors opened up, and that way we have kind of just a clear shot to walk around the vehicle also and just look at everything. Okay, so as we're at the driver's side of the car, again, like I say, it's pretty clear this vehicle was taken apart to be painted. You can see right here. Inner door panels are in great shape, very good looking. Let's see, sill plate was added here, probably just to, you know, have something to stand on besides the paint of the car. Carpet added to this thing, and then you can see here someone has like weather guarded the inside with like rhino lining type material or something like that. Corbeau racing seats. What we like to see is all this piping looks really nice. You can tell this car has not been is a fresher restoration because, you know, you don't see someone getting in and out of this thing thousands of times. This would all be rubbed raw if that was the case. Same thing for this big bolster here. Shoulder belts, that's always great in a vehicle that doesn't have a top. Dash appears to be in great shape. And yeah, in my opinion, this thing, what it's really missing is a radio. I mean, I think you probably gotta have a radio in this car to be doing it right. So mileage is showing 24,000 on it. I would say it's, you know, either reset at the time of restoration or rolled over. It's really hard to tell what somebody could have been doing. So automatic transmission, this is probably like a C6, something like that. Rear seats, again, Corbeau Racing throughout. Really good looking seats. Lock boxes up front and on the dash, tough boxes. So kind of an added bonus as well. Again, right here, we'll get a little bit better look at this tough coating on the inside. This is a very popular ad that is done to very many vehicles, okay? Fresh restorations will have it done all the time. Just really kind of a way to weather seal the inside and make it so you could spray this thing out and you're not worried about it getting wet or any paint coming up any in the future or anything like that. Tailgate looks good. Obviously, these people had this little extra piece made, I guess, so that you can stop somebody before they sit on your nice painted tailgate. And it appears to be in great shape. Again, full set of belts for the back seat also. So somebody did it right when they did this vehicle. Tailgate looks like it's in great shape as well. Passenger side, moving on. We can see that on both sides, the lower doors look great. It's just got a little dust on them right now, but they're not rusted out. They look really good. And again, you can see this thing was taken apart to be painted. I'm not sure what goes here, maybe like a little rubber bumper or something like that, but that's all just kind of add-on stuff at the end. Like, it's pretty easy. So again, the passenger seat again is not worn. It's in great shape. And then the roll bar looks great. The windshield washer motor is exposed. That is a lot, often on a lot of Broncos, that's the case. You can actually, there is a cover for this that you could get on this thing. My guess is that it would interfere with this. So most people just opt to just leave it like this. Or they will get a bracket that flips this, I believe, downward a little bit further, which I don't recommend doing that either. I would just kind of leave it the way it is if it was me. That cover is plastic, and it probably interferes with this. That's why it's not in there. That's my guess. Okay, let's look at the underside of this thing. Let me get my better flashlight, and I'm just gonna, if you'll bear with me and not get motion sick or anything, I'll crawl around the underside of this. But first, what we'll do is, I've got a killer flashlight here. Excuse me, I'm gonna lay on the ground. But, okay, as we're looking here, really nice. It looks like low gloss black paint everywhere. Frame looks like it's in great shape. No issues, no rotten spots in the frame. Disc brake car, looks like we've got a lot of new components in the suspension. I don't see any wheel cylinder leaks. This thing's been sitting here for a few weeks, so no leaks like that. Looks like, I mean, there's like maybe you can see, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't call this a leak. It's like a little seep maybe around this. Like I said, this thing's been sitting here for weeks, and it's just barely seeping around this drain there. I wouldn't even call that a leak, to be honest. So let's see. Trailing arms look real good. Dual exhaust with like glass packs on this thing. That's probably what gives it that great sound that we're looking at. I don't see any leaks on the floor. So, I mean, that's good. Kind of unbelievable, to be quite honest. As we look at the inners here, you can see these look really good. All those screws on the inside are for this flare that's on here. I don't see, like, this would be the usual suspect for like rust areas of this thing. I do see right here like a little pinhole there. I think you can see it. This flashlight's almost too good. Hang on. Right here, right down here, there's like a little bitty, I'm not sure if it's like coating that's kind of peeled off, or it is a little bitty rust spot. It kind of, actually the way it's peeling off in chunks, it's kind of almost like it's paint that's kind of peeling off. So I don't think it's rust. All this looks pretty appropriate. That looks like factory kind of body panel stamping. So those look like all factory pieces in there. We can see all this looks like it's fresh. This thing doesn't look like it's been off-road or anything. Probably a 4-inch lift or so on this. And again, you can see frame looks great right here and all the way down also. Someone's kind of like just satin black the frame and it looks great. Same thing for like on these trailing arms. You can see that all looks like new stuff. So it's relatively recently that it's all been done. So, okay. So right now I'm on the ground here and I'm facing the front of the car, and we're just gonna look down here. We're looking at the frame, and then we're gonna look at the rocker specifically. So this area right here is what we're focusing on in here. And as you can see, looks really great. You have to excuse my LED light, but I'm gonna go back about as far as like the middle of the car, and then I'll switch sides and do the other side too, and I'll get you a look at the back also. But as you can see, this all looks pretty nice under here. And again, as we look at like the suspension components and the brakes and stuff, I mean, everything just looks pretty tidy. I'm looking at the transfer case back here, like the 4-wheel drive transfer case, and this looks a little damp to me. So like this is a little wet in here. It's even got a little like a little drip starting. So I don't think that's a huge leak. It's probably more like a seep again, but just something to be aware of. Let me just, if anyone is telling you, first of all, if you're buying a classic car, make whoever you're buying it from do what I'm doing right now. If they won't get on the ground and look at underneath these things and do what I'm doing, then you don't want to buy a car from them, okay? So we look at the rocker on the other side. Whoops, excuse me. I'll get a better look at that when I get over there. And if they tell you when you're in this video that their car does not leak, that should be your first sign that something is not on the up and up, because classic cars leak. Most of them do, unfortunately. So, okay, I'm gonna turn around now, okay, and face the rear of the car. All right, and we're gonna look at this thing this way. Excuse me. And again, looking up here in the rocker, this looks pretty nice. Actually, everything looks really good. I'm looking up in the rear fenders right there, rear quarter panels. Everything looks okay. You know, I mean, this is pretty unexciting down here. Frame looks good. So, oops. Frame looks pretty good, and body bumpers look good. Yeah, I mean, pretty unexciting back here. So, drum brakes in the back, discs up front. So, get a look at the frame here from inside this wheel well. You can see down here, frame looks good. Oops, excuse me. Inside here, so it looks like someone has like rubber coated this. Let me get my little flashlight again. Looks like somebody has rubber coated this inner wheel well here. All this looks rubber coated, and now so this looks like a little split that's been rubber coated over right there, and Again, I would not get hung up on that if it was me. It wouldn't certainly keep me, well, it didn't keep me from buying a car. I mean, I saw it when I bought it and I still bought it. So, I mean, I don't think that's a indication of rust damage or anything like that. As we look up in here, we can see, you know, all these little places where water and crud would have gotten caught over the years. All looks very solid and tidy still. So, I mean, I'm pretty pleased with the way this thing looks. Let's get around to the other side and get a look. So, again, all these little nooks and crannies where water would normally get stuck. I don't see any major signs of rust. This side does not have that little split like the other one did. You know, it had that little split in here that was rubberized over. Kind of starting to see like the beginning of it right here, and it just got rubber coatinged over. I would not waste a bunch of time and money trying to fix something like that. Frame looks good all the way down through. I'm gonna face the rear of the car again and look at this side. Okay guys, I'm facing the rear of the car. I'm on the passenger side right now, and we're gonna look up under here, see if we can see anything that's glaring at us. Floor up in the middle of the car looks really good. I don't see any issues. Frame looks good. Here's what we see here. So this rocker over here, hang on. So this rocker on this side, I think that maybe there's been a repair here, okay? Like this whole inside piece maybe has been redone, but I think it was done very well, and you'd have to be a professional to see anything because the seam is very well hidden. All that stuff there, that's just like the trim on the inside, those screws, somebody screwed through there, which it's not a huge deal. As we look at the floor, I see the floor looks pretty good. It's all factory stamps and stuff on the floor. Same thing up here. Factory stamps on the floor. Let me turn around and face the front of the car so we can get a little bit better look at it. I'm kind of laying on my back right now. Hopefully I'm not making everybody motion sick here. Okay, facing the front of the car. Let's get a good look at this rocker here. Looks pretty good. So I don't see any issues under there that are glaring. I'm facing the front of the car right now, everybody, okay? So as we look at the floor down here and the frame, all looks very nice, very, very good. Not thick undercoating under here, just a little dusting of some rubberized coating. We can see, so right here, you know, I mean, maybe right here could be a spot where somebody stitched a floor in right here. But they did a really good job. I mean, it looks, again, you'd have to be a professional to see this. Maybe they could have ground this weld just a little bit more and it would have disappeared. But in my opinion, that looks like someone has put a factory floor in though. Like this is a replacement, this stuff. It's not like a sheet metal. That's like the replacement that you can buy. And they put that in right there and stitched it in. So pretty decent job, really. Again, frame looks good and no issues in that area. Exhaust looks like it's, you know, just as new as everything else. So guys, I hope I didn't make everybody motion sick doing this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, okay? My cell phone number is 260-704-0234, and we can talk about this car or any of the other cars here at the Collector Car Gallery. But today we're looking at this 1974 Ford Bronco with a 302 mild custom Mickey Thompson's on Baja style wheels. Just a really sharp car, fun car, and definitely you're getting lots of looks if you're driving this thing around. So thanks again, collectorcargallery.com.